Hi Rohan.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in for your interview today. I'm going to dive straight in with a $1 million question. Why are you interested in working here at Vend?
So Vend is one of my top choices in companies. I've come into the tech sector with a background in retail. So I went to university and I suppose I failed to see the relevance of a lot of what I was doing. I ended up actually going into to do more arts papers and things I enjoyed towards the end. But at the start I was doing business, and mainly because I didn't really know exactly what to do at university. But I worked in hospitality throughout the course and throughout my studies, and actually quite enjoyed that, and ended up getting into managing people and training staff and working in sort of slightly larger teams. Um, but I was when I joined tech, and I really wanted to be with the right people. I think for me, I'm looking for folks that are excited about the work they do. Um, they share a passion for the product that they have and the culture that they have. And I've looked around the sector, and I've been to a number of meetups, and I've talked to a lot of people, and Vend seems to come up a lot. So I started talking to people at meetups about Vend and why they joined and what the culture's like there. And the things that stood out for me were the real positivity in the culture. So the positivity around the pride in product, but also around how people seem to be very supportive of each other, but also supportive of I think the individual, the diversity that everyone has. Um, I talk to I've talked to a number of women, for example, and they say it's a wonderful place to work, and I really wanted to work in a place that was conscious to make their culture good for everyone. Um, I think also, beginning in my career, I wanted to go to a place that understood what it's like to be new to tech. I didn't want to be lost in a sea of people. I wanted to be able to learn and be able to be mentored well. And I've spoken to 2 or 3 people that have worked at Vend at some at senior level and some at more the junior level. And they've spoken about the learning environment and the support that new people get, and I'm really interested in that. Um, I come to tech with a huge amount of effort and I think privilege as well. I really understand the privilege it is to work in tech and how powerful that is. Um, even the salaries I just find mind blowing. The opportunities. I mean, I can't believe someone would pay you to do this. It's so much fun. I just think being on your feet, working in customer service all day is a really hard job, and I can't believe that software development is so fun and awesome in that regard. So I think for me, coming to Vend, it's really about the culture of learning, mentorship. It's an awesome product, it's really well known, and I'm really keen to be part of a culture like that. I suppose the other aspect is that there's a lot of places to go in Vend. I mean, you're a bigger company for New Zealand standards, and I think I quite like that. I quite like the ability to specialise, and if I had an opportunity to go and specialise in a couple of areas, I think that'd be pretty amazing. And obviously not straight away. I've got a lot to learn in the next couple of years. But in the 4 to 5 year time frame, I hope I'm specialising in different aspects. I'm really cutting my teeth in more specialist areas. So I think those are the biggest things that are attracting me.
Cool, thanks. All right, there's a lot in there. Cool. So you talked about your background in retail straight away. So Vend, for those of you that don't know, it's a point of sale product for specifically for retail. That's their specialist area. So all straight away, I'm like, okay, you potentially would have interacted with our product before. If you haven't, you at least understand the context with which it exists and the pain points for people within the retail sector that would lead them to come to our product. So that's great. Also, you've got customer service experience in there as well. Anyone that's worked in retail will know that if you can work in retail, you can do many things. So that's good. I'm already starting to assume things about your resilience and your ability to talk to potential clients externally, further on in your future career. So that's good. I like that you talked about your university background and why it didn't really speak to you. That can be a bit of a risky one if not delivered well. So you're almost highlighting a challenge that you faced, and that you actually had the self-awareness to go, this doesn't serve me, and that's kind of what led you to tech. And you dropped in a little bit about people management and teams. I think at this point you were kind of probably building a little bit too much into talking about people management and teams, but you recognise that and you got straight back onto the track of the question. So you started giving examples of going to meetups, having sector knowledge, specifically targeting people from Vend, or at least noticing them at meetups and talking to them about certain things. So as a potential employer, this shows me that you've got such an interest for us as an organisation, whether you targeted us or not, you became aware of us. I'm loving that my people are out there saying great things about Vend, but I'm also loving that you've been attracted to that and you're asking the right questions. Love the bit about diversity and speaking to women. I love the talk about pride and positivity in product and the supportive work environment. You even dipped in and talked about your awareness that you need mentorship and support, and that the learning environment was encouraging. So basically everything that we've got on our website and everything that we want to put forward it's not like you've read our website and regurgitated it, you've spoken to real people about it, and that shows me that you've put in more effort than most people that have applied for this role, probably. And there's a little bit just about passion for the tech industry in general, which is good. One thing that I really liked at the end there is you de-risked yourself from a time frame perspective. So when we're taking on someone that's new to tech, we want to make sure that we're getting return on investment. You acknowledge that whilst you'd like to specialise in different areas within Vend, great, because you're not going to jump to the next job that comes along, but you also had an awareness that this will take time, and you even gave a time frame of 5 to 6 months or something before you start to think about where you could go elsewhere and specialise. That's great. I'm already picturing a future state of you in the organisation, and when we can start to see value from taking you on. So just some really, really good things there that you hit the mark on.
Thank you.
Well done. Where can you begin?
So the heart of this question is about fit. You really are doing their job for them now. And I regard this as a massive mic drop sort of question. You can really do the whole interview in this question. So why are you working for this company? Well, you're there for a reason, and you need to let them know. If they haven't seen it through your CV and your cover letter, they're definitely looking for it in the interview. And I'm not leaving without telling them why we fit. And its fit is incredibly important. So I talked about learning, I talked about culture, I talked about pride in product, I talked about people, I talked about the research that I've done, and they can clearly see I've done my research and I have chosen them. I think I might have said at the start, I'm not interviewing at many places, or maybe Vend is my top choice.
Yeah, you said top choice. Yeah.
There you go. So they feel special. I'm choosing them, and it's now up to them to choose me back, sort of thing. And it might seem cheesy or too obvious, but I followed it up and I backed it up with my research and the why as well. I think you have to do the same. That is why Tom and I will recommend few companies, but do it really well. And it makes a massive difference, and you will get yourself into the right place. When I'm asking questions like, or talking about mentorship and learning, and if they came back to me saying, I'm not sure we do have that learning environment, or I might not say it in that way, but just say, oh, yeah, mentorship is, we do a little bit of mentorship, not a huge amount. Oh, well, tell me about that. You know, when I spoke to this person, they said that they're paired up, and oh, I see what you mean. Yes, we do have peers, and you know, it can form a bit of a discussion, but you need to know that you can choose that company. But at the heart of this question, it's fit. Why are you here, and what have you seen in us that attracts you? And we want to know that you've done your research. As Tom says, many people don't. Many people are like, well, you know, and they start talking about software development or about themselves, but actually what the hiring manager, what the interviewer wants to hear is, what do you know about them and what's attracting you to it?
The bare minimum that people will do, and it will probably secure them an interview, is read the website and maybe a couple of their blogs and think, okay, these themes are coming through, whether it's customer service skills or whether it's collaboration or a commitment to diversity or whatever it may well be that they sell on their website. And people stop at that point and they go, I've done my research, I like this organisation, I'll apply. That's fine, but it's not going to put you in the top 5 to 10%, which is where you kind of want to be. And if you can go into an interview knowing that you've spoken to a dev that works for this organisation and you know even one little story about what happens behind the closed doors and show them that you've been behind the curtain, as it were, then all of a sudden you rise straight to the top, and it's such a position of power to be in an interview, to be able to have that story. Very few other people will have it, so why wouldn't you spend the extra time trying to get that little golden nugget?
Yeah. So one thing not to do on this question is be generic. I would be mentioning the company and being more specific. If you're generic, they're going to feel that they're not important and that you're not important. I would also, be careful about, being a bit too gushy. Although that's unusual in a New Zealand context.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good.